You know, it was interesting. I was listening to a Canadian prepper video, and he was talking about fielding troops and reserve forces with obsolete weapons. I think he missed a point. When you look at the US and NATO, they destroyed millions of small arms, heavy weapons, artillery, vehicles, aircraft, tanks. You know, look around. The M60 main battle tank would still be a viable tank on the battlefield. It's nowhere as good as the M1 Abrams series, but it would be useful. So most of those were made into artificial reefs. A few were given to other countries, but the bulk of them were scrapped and destroyed. You look at small arms in the US and NATO. In the United States, when I was young, they spent over $100 million designing and building a system to destroy rifles. So all the M1s, M1 carbines, M14s, early ARs, BARs, Browning machine guns, 38 revolvers, all that stuff, they spent $100 million designing a machine to chop all that stuff up. So when you look at Russia and China, they still retain small arms, artillery systems, all the way back to World War II. So the real thing here is, if they call up their reserve forces, they can actually arm them with obsolete weapons. When you look at the United States and NATO, they can call up a large labor force that won't have any weapons. They're going to have to scrounge the world and find all the junk and crap that they can put back into service. So the real situation there is the Chinese and Russians can build a huge, massive army. And if you have a gun versus no gun, who's going to win? So that's another way to look at building up the reserve forces for World War III. Because the Russians have experience of building large armies and not having enough small arms. So today's situation is pretty simple. The US and NATO can field a lot of people, but they're only useful for labor, building fortifications, working on stuff, doing projects, building things, because they don't have the weapons for them. So, would you rather have no gun, or would you rather have a Mosin Nagant, Chinese Type 53, an SKS, or an old AK-47? So please comment, rate, subscribe. We'll see you on the next video.